Google's artificial intelligence is coming under fire as a US edtech company, Chegg, has filed a lawsuit claiming that the tech giant's AI previews are damaging the internet. Joining us today is Karen Sutherland from the University of the Sunshine Coast. Let's run through it. Could you first explain exactly what Chegg is?
Well, yeah, Chegg is a tech company that's not actually doing very well at the moment, unfortunately. So apparently it's recently laid off 21% of their staff, and their stock is down more than 98%. So yeah, they're not going great. So I think they're trying to do whatever they can to improve what their performance has been, and that's why they're taking Google to court over their AI, and they're mostly focused on the AI summaries now that come up when you type into Google and do your search, and it's an AI generated summary that comes up first, and then it'll list different websites underneath it.
So why are these, what are the claims I suppose they're making, and why is this case coming to light and us discussing it today? It seems significant.
Yeah, well, Chegg is saying that Google's AI-generated summaries are really sort of halting traffic and eroding web traffic. So it's stopping people from actually going then onto websites. Like before, they would actually click on links to discover the information themselves. And they're also saying that it's stopping, preventing companies like theirs from creating new content and fresh content because people aren't going to actually look at it based on these summaries. So I'm not sure how have these summaries changed the way that you are using Google, because I know looking at my own use, I am sort of looking at these summaries more and more rather than exploring different websites myself.
100%. If the answers I want are at the top of the page, I'm generally looking at it and moving on. It's very interesting and quite convenient. But how do Google's AI overviews, do you think, affect online publishers like Chegg, for instance? And do you reckon this is part of a larger trend we're going to see?
I think so. I think it's definitely changing the way that we use Google and we use the internet. And I think it's going to be up to companies to try and work out how their content can be then used in these summaries. Like that is the new SEO I see. Although it's been around for a little while, but it's actually trying to be part of the summaries rather than making them excluded. And so I think because Google does actually list the websites where it gets the summaries from, and Google is saying, well, it's actually allowing people to explore different sources rather than the ones that are ranked by popularity in SEO. So I think it is going to change things, definitely, but it's up to, I think, organizations and businesses and brands to try and work with these changes to then, again, become more exposed and prominent in these summaries.
Yeah, I think so. You've got to keep up with it all as it unfolds. Now, OpenAI is apparently stepping up its efforts to tackle users attempting to create a social media surveillance tool with ChatGPT. This is as spooky as it is interesting.
Yeah, now look, we often hear bad things about OpenAI and their security and things like that, but they've actually done well in this case. And believe it or not, there are very clear rules around how you can use tools like ChatGPT, and there are ethical guidelines for their use. And so they've actually found it was some users in China were using ChatGPT as a surveillance tool on social media sites. Now, what they were doing was searching for information and posts. It was around Western protests, and then they were using that information to feed it back to Chinese security services to inform them of what was actually going on. And so this completely breaches the rules. They were using things like VPNs and other ways to disguise where they were from, so to try and hide what they were doing. But OpenAI detected it and have shut it down particularly.
I'm curious to know how this case compares to past concerns about AI tools being exploited for political monitoring, such as those seen in both China and Russia. I guess the social media Cambridge Analytica scandal as well as a good example of where we've gotten to.
Yeah, look, I think those tools were created by, people. So, the Cambridge Analytica thing was a whole different thing. So they were using advertising, and they were actually using a quiz to gather data. They found a loophole, and they were using a quiz on Facebook to gather data, where this is using AI and ChatGPT to identify and then gather data and then send it off. So it's very similar but slightly different. But I think, yes, I mean, the good thing is that OpenAI is actually onto this. And I'm glad that they are, because I mean, with any new technology, there are amazing things it can do, but then also the bad actors. And so we have to be very careful about that and look at ways that we can prevent this sort of unethical behaviour.
Yeah, you and I will no doubt be keeping a close eye on it. Dr. Karen Sutherland, thank you for your time, as always.
Thank you.